Hi, everyone. I know it's hard to believe, but it's now been a week. That's right, 1 week. 3 more weeks to go. Let's keep up the intensity. This is Rabbi Moshe Rothschild coming to you from the land of Israel, bringing you inspiration in your inbox. Let's go right to today's message. It's not simple to define what it means to be authentic, but I think we can all agree that when you meet someone who is authentic, it's a very, very beloved trait. People are really drawn to authentic people. And I want to share with you a very powerful and compelling story. The story first requires a little bit of background. At some Jewish weddings, though not all, they hire a badchan. A badchan is like a clown or a jester, a comedian, who brings great joy to the bride and groom through his act. And there was a particular wedding that they invited a badchan, and they hired him for the wedding. And at the wedding was a famous rabbi. He was known as the Satmar Rebbe. He died about 30 years ago, maybe a little more. And the Satmar Rebbe had a very high, squeaky voice. So the badchan said to him, "Rebbe, do you mind if I imitate you?" And he said, "No problem, please. If it's going to bring joy to the bride and groom, by all means." So the badchan gets up, he's doing his act, he's doing his jokes and this and that, and then he imitates the Satmar Rebbe in his squeaky voice, and everyone's cracking up. It's the funniest thing. And he looks over, and he sees the Satmar Rebbe is weeping, he's crying. And the badchan is so upset, as you can imagine. And he runs over afterwards and he says to him, "Rebbe, I'm so sorry, I embarrassed you. But I thought I asked you permission, it was okay." So the Satmar Rebbe says to the badchan, "Listen, don't worry, I'm not upset at you. I gave you permission. But I want to tell you what I was thinking while I was watching your act." He says, "I realized what an amazing job you did imitating me. If you could imitate me so well, imagine how well I can imitate myself." What did the Rebbe mean by that? Very simple. If I am acting today, if I am kind today simply because I was kind yesterday or the week before, then that's inauthentic. I'm just a copy of what I used to do, of what I've done. If I keep the Shabbat because I kept it last week, then I never really kept it, because that's inauthentic. If I give charity because I gave it a week ago, then that's an imitation, that's inauthentic. The Rebbe was trying to teach himself and others this powerful lesson that I need to be authentic, not an imitation. How do we define authenticity? So I would like to say that being authentic is being consistent with your inner beliefs. So in other words, if a person has an inner belief, they believe in God and they're a spiritual person, they believe in goodness and so on and so forth, but they can't behave that way on the outside because they're always spending their time trying to be a people pleaser and ingratiating themselves to others and trying to look good in the eyes of others, that is total inauthenticity. A person needs to try to live their life according to their inner spiritual, godly, moral compass. That's what authenticity is. And it's not a simple thing, because we live in a world that is so much about the externalities, about the outside. And it's not, quote unquote, cool to live by the inside. It's all about how you look. It's all about the image. And it's a very, very difficult thing to live a completely authentic life. And this is what it means when it says that the Ark of the Covenant, it was made from gold, both on the inside and on the outside. And our sages learn from here that a person needs to be toho kiboro. Inside and outside need to match. And it's not a simple thing to do. So I'm going to give you a little exercise to help you. I want you to take one day and imagine that your entire life, everything you do, everything you say, is now being broadcast onto the screen at Times Square in the middle of Manhattan. And everyone's watching you and everyone's listening. Now I ask you, How are you behaving? Are you behaving the same way you normally do? Or have you now altered your behavior because everybody's watching you? Everyone's listening to you yell at your kids. Everyone's listening to you be rude, perhaps. Everyone's listening to you and watching how you dress and every move you make. Now, did you change your behavior because everyone's watching? Now, if you did, then it's a good sign that you need to work on your authenticity. And I think we all do, so don't feel bad. But that's what this month is about. Like I said on day one, there's a lot of inner work and it's hard. And every day, every month, every year, we're trying to improve ourselves. So let's work on our authenticity. Let's try to be consistent and not to be an imitation, but to be the real deal. So there you have it, folks. The end of week 1. 7 inspirational lessons so far. So I urge you, take the time to go back, listen to them again, and most importantly, integrate. And try to follow the exercises and dig a little bit deeper. Wishing you a wonderful day. We go out with the tunes of Rabbi Shlomo Katz.